Oh, hello, U.S. Asia Pacific Limited Partnership investor and client and our fellow broker in Asia. So today we wanted to introduce to you, our team, our owner, our developer, and general partner on that participate in our fund. And as you already know, we started the investment program, EB5 Employment Based Category number 5 in Seattle, Washington. And over the past 17 years and 17 fund is already completed. Although sometimes we work with partner, owner, developer that's so qualified that bring in a great investment opportunity, which create opportunity for us to be able to invest into great asset. Also apply for the I-526 U.S. citizenship petition to the program, right? So today we have Mr. Alex from the East Coast, New York, and we have Mr. Ryan from Newport Beach, California, and of course our local here, Mr. Robert. So I wanted to kind of introduce you guys to us and get to know us better so that we can work together, for our offering that coming up in the open market, which create a great opportunity for all of us, especially with our client that gonna get in the green card and getting the ownership, on the property. So Mr. Alex, we're going to start with you.
Sure.
You can share with us about yourself and what are some of the opportunity in the development that you're working on.
Hi, I'm Alex Hung. I'm a former attorney and now in private equity. I've previously worked as an investment banker as well, but have been in the private equity space for the last 10 years. First starting with a global firm that took me to Asia, but now I'm back in the U.S. and working on more specialty, smaller deals. Some of the things that we work on, they're more of a infrastructure or kind of job creation type plays where we're building factories or we're building out, like, I guess, chains of restaurants and whatnot in the U.S. So, for example, we are partnered with one of the leading Indian solar developers, manufacturers actually of panels, and they need a U.S. partner. So we've found a lot of the senior capital, and we're planning to build a large factory employing 1,500 people, and we are, going to be a significant piece of the equity ownership, and we will be bringing capital in. We have everything we work on is, it's a proven technology. It's not like we're trying to, create the next cancer drug or something like that. It's a proven technology that's being scaled, or we're working on something like like a solar, or we have other, I guess, it's like pine chemicals derivatives where it works. We are just building out the factory. We have secured the supply, and we are then getting the offtake, and your money will be safe because we already have all the contracts lined up, and once the factories are built, they will create constant cash flow.
Thank you, Mr. Alex. That was a great program of development and investment that you do. Which brought me to Mr. Ryan, another partner in our fund program. Ryan, can you kind of, a lot of us were familiar with you in Saigon, Vietnam through the last meeting that we have there.
Yep.
So yeah, share with us and our audience here about yourself and what are investment opportunity that you been working on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. No, thank you, Michael. Many of you maybe I did meet. It's great to see you again. My name is Ryan Hall, founding partner of Magma Equities based down in Los Angeles, California, with my partner Bob Murray, who's based here in Seattle. We're really housing investors. So we own condo properties, apartment properties, look investing in build to rent opportunities and for sale properties throughout the United States. We own all over the country. We own here in Washington. We also own a lot throughout Texas, Tennessee, South Carolina, kind of all over the southern states in the U.S. We have offices Los Angeles, Seattle, Dallas, and Charlotte, North Carolina, as well as our New York City office with our partner Alex. Alex and I have known each other probably now 7+ years. Started out investing together in apartment buildings. I think our first deal was in Nashville, Tennessee together. And he's the expert on infrastructure, private equity plays, more creativity. Bob and I are the housing experts, and we mesh really well together. So we've partnered on a lot of deals together and are looking to bring to all of you housing opportunities as well as these other ventures with Alex and his team to qualify for your EB-5 visa that create jobs here in the United States that you can benefit from being able to invest in.
Yeah, wonderful. And so, the vast majority of the experience you have over the past years is pretty much focusing on housing.
Correct.
Right? And why do you think it's important to keep investing into housing? We see the...
Yeah, so I've been working in housing for going on about 20 years now here in the U.S. Obviously, housing, any kind of housing in the United States is very limited, and it's still a very low supply of housing everywhere. Rental housing, for sale housing throughout the country, we have a very small inventory, which obviously drives up pricing and makes it very expensive for people to be able to own here. And it makes it very difficult for people to find places to live. So housing in the United States, with the massive population growth we continue to have, with the job creation we have, with what we're likely going to see as new job creation in the United States, with the new administration coming in the next few weeks, really bringing a lot home to the U.S., it's going to bring a lot more people here that all need places to live. And as the economy continues to grow in this country, you'll have a lot of people that may be living at their parents' house a little bit longer in life, leaving their parents' house, needing a place to live. So there's a real lack of inventory here in the United States for housing. And we feel like continuing to add to that with what we do is extremely beneficial for future growth and continued growth within that space.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And we already know that United States of America, based on the National Association of Realtors or the Master Builder Association of America, which we can have the meeting coming up in Las Vegas in February 2nd to 6th, we still shorted about a plus million home in the U.S. So any solution for housing is a great solution. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. And with that, I would like to bring another experienced veteran developer, owner, and investor that has been working on housing a very long time, Mr. Bob Murray.
Yes. Well, I think I'm a month away from having a 40-year career in real estate. When I got out of school, I went straight into the multifamily field, and I've probably spent 95% in the multifamily space. I've done some office and hotel, retail, industrial, but collectively a very small amount compared to being in the housing segment of real estate. And I have done it all over the United States. Just in those 40 years, I've worked with some big shops, developers, the Lincoln Property Companies, Trammell Crow's, the MetLife Insurance, and had real wonderful training over all that time. Ryan and I met a couple, I don't know, probably every bit of 10 years ago, at a startup in Southern California, where we grew that we were growing that about $1 billion a year in acquisitions, and um, easily the most successful real estate investment company out of the last 10 years. And that's where we met. And over time, built a good relationship and decided to. It was Ryan that went out on his own and started Magma, and I followed shortly thereafter. I've always been a big investor in real estate and also a lot of angel investing in tech, biotech, just new concept ideas. Seattle's a wonderful area to meet a lot of talented people that have, I don't know, made their Amazon money or their Microsoft money and gone off and done their passion projects. And so it's been very exciting for me to be part of that and that part network and learn about, different forms of investing outside of real estate. So I don't know, it's been a wonderful career for me to do all these things. And I see opportunities all the time, just from my network locally, but also relationships I've made across the country, from people that have made money off of our projects that introduced me to their projects. So there's never a lack of opportunity here, for all kinds of ideas and places to invest in. So,
Thank you, Mr. Robert. And as you can see, from the team of the owner, developer, general partner for the deal, for the offering that you participating in, there's a vast experience combined that bring the best deal in the EB5 and in the modern living investment. We call them a win-win situation, right? Win-win. I have a question for Mr. Alex in terms of, what are some of the three criteria that you're looking for when you evaluate and acquiring an investment?
Well, number one is always the management team.
Right.
You want them to be competent. You want them to have integrity and, experience at doing what they're doing. For us though, what we look for is, because I've also worked with these gentlemen on real estate deals, I look for safety. So I'm not looking to hit, a 100x on anything. I'm looking to know that when I fund something, the plan will be easily met if there are certain criteria that work. And so for us, because we're doing a lot of factory build outs, I want to know that you've secured the supply of what it is at a fair price, and then you will have a guaranteed margin of some sort on the way out. So then that basically locks in what your projected cash flows will be for the foreseeable future. And if there's one thing I can add is why working with this GP is very helpful for everybody involved, is that one thing is for the EP5 program, they really care if you bring it to disadvantaged or rural areas, and all the things that we do on the infrastructure-ish types side, they are always in, because the land is cheaper to build in more rural areas. And there, if you are bringing 1,000 jobs or 500 jobs, they're going to be lacking housing, and that's where these gentlemen will come in and build it and manage it for us.
Yeah, it's so wonderful to have Mr. Alex and Mr. Ryan and also Mr. Robert here in the Seattle Pacific Northwest and talking about manufacturing, talking about housing, and talking about, especially on the manufacturing side, you already know about the new federal government law that went into effect in 2022 in March, that 40% of the total investment visa were allocated to the rural area. So, we have investors right now that go into the program that went into a rural versus the urban, DEA. So the amount of time to get to the visa approved probably going to be, 3 to 10 months. And so that's pretty exciting about the new EB5 program. And that's the reason why we wanted to incorporate this manufacturing rural investment together with the housing that going to bring you the most value for your investment. So I have the same thing for the question for Mr. Ryan too. Is that what are some of the criteria that you're looking for when evaluating the deal that you acquire?
Similar to Alex, where if, for us in housing, especially, it's lack of supply. It's making sure you're fitting a niche that's necessary, that people really do need the housing in certain locations, and bringing the value of how can we also improve existing assets, or for if we happen to be a partner with somebody to build an asset, what are you bringing to the population? What do they actually need and want in providing that service and that housing option for them? Obviously, fundamentals of real estate in general, your rents versus what you're paying for the property make a big difference for returns. So obviously looking for positive returns in an environment like this in the United States, with where interest rates are right now, it's very expensive to purchase residential real estate right now from an interest rate standpoint. So you have to be very careful and look at metrics that you can generate returns higher than you're borrowing at today, which is expensive versus where it was several years ago. So those fundamentals, growth projections, when you improve the assets, vital. But the team, first and foremost, is always the most important. Who's running the property? Who's on the ground? Who's leasing the property? Who's managing it? Are they competent? Can they do what they're supposed to be doing? Because in housing, especially in the rental housing side, we own a lot of 300 and 400 unit buildings. It's a small city, and it's a lot of client relations and customer service and being understanding of residents and people's needs. It's not like a big industrial multi-million square foot building that has one tenant that is just an office. It's very hands-on. If you don't have the right people on site, your property won't perform. So very important for us.
I would just add to like what Ryan's saying is we subscribe and we follow a lot of research and try to understand trends as they're starting to happen so that we can get ahead of the curve. And as an example, a couple of years ago in the North Carolina market, there was a lot of interest of new job creation there, and we got there first, and we were noted for being one of the largest buyers in that market a couple of years ago. We were very successful there because we follow where things are going to happen. We don't want to be the last in. We want to be the first in or one of the first in, and so we've been successful with that by following certain research and trends where we think that housing is going to improve, and there's good job creation, there's wage growth, those kind of those are big factors in our world. So
yeah, that's all wonderful, and I think that when we an investor looking at the company from looking at the people behind behind every investment, it's so important to select not just the regional center program and the track records, but also looking at the team behind it. And talking about that, can Mr. Robert, can you also share with us about some of the track record that you have from your company, from your equity fund?
Yeah, we've had some successful projects where we usually buy a project looking for certain returns that we can make within like 3 to 5 years. That's a typical underwriting for our deals. But we've learned of opportunities where the zoning has changed. As one example, in Raleigh, where there was an opportunity to buy a 200 unit property, and we picked it up knowing that the zoning was going to change to 3,000 units. And I think we sold that within 6 months. We had a lockout on our loan for 6 months, but when that came up, we sold it to a student housing developer that could go vertical and put those 3,000 units there. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was like was that a 12x on that, or
I don't remember.
is that but it,
Yeah.
in a very short amount of time. I mean, that's, that was a wonderful home run for us. They're not all like that, but they're pretty good. I will say that in my multifamily investing over the last, since 2010, I'm usually looking for like a double in like 3 years, and I think I'm running about a 4.3 on everything that I've invested in, in those over those years. There's cycles in there, some get diluted, but then again, there's a big home run in there. So yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So what would you think about the total volume in terms of units and square feet and dollar amount
That I've
over the year?
invested in?
Yes. Mhm.
I've probably invested in, I don't know, 30, well, on every deal, 40,000 units. I mean, I think I've touched well over 100 in my career as far as managing acquisitions, dispositions, asset managing, and done renovations of over 25, 30,000 units. On a dollar scale, I can't give you square footage, a lot, too much to count, but I would say on a valuation of these assets, it would be 18 billion, that I've been a partner in. A lot of times this is with, large multinational partners. We've had some European insurance companies invest with us, and plenty of, I would say big name American companies that have come in as a partner in our deals. And as well as an Australian group, and just we worked with everybody. When you work at that scale, at the highest level of institutional investing, you meet a lot of smart people that are representing the LP side, and they move on in their careers and start new companies. And so we've our network of groups to work with is really huge now, and so.
Yeah, that's wonderful, Mr. Robert. And I'm pretty sure that, a lot of us, when we invest, beside getting the green card, we wanted to looking for general partner, developer, owner that have the most experience, because after all, we wanted to be a successful investment that gonna result in a green card, in what we call the American dream, right? So, I want to leave the last question for Mr. Alex in terms of, share with us some of the track record and that deal that you've done in the past, over the years.
Gosh, I mean, two or three of the most successful ones I've done is at a large private equity firm. One of them today would be the largest logistics operator in Asia. We were the ones who incubated it and launched it. It actually got taken. I won't name the names, but it got taken private last month at a $7 billion valuation. We have another large group that we incubated that probably owns 30 or 40 buildings that were converted in Shanghai and Beijing. That company's worth in several $billion as well. And even on the smaller stuff that because those would be larger spends, and some of the smaller things, like we've invested in a food company that's now expanded into Costco, and it's since we got into it, we've realized probably about a 3x. They're planning a sale in the next year or two. At that point, it would be about 10 times our money. So we have. I mean, we're in a battery storage company. after we invested, a large pension fund out of Switzerland then invested in it at a 1.3 times valuation, 6 months later, and now they're expanding pretty quickly. So I imagine that one will be a very successful exit as well.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, Alec. Thank you for sharing all this great information. And so I would, we part of the team that wanted to bring the best investment opportunity, for you to invest and migrate to America. Although I, myself that I came from Vietnam, I have a last name Vietnamese Chinese, and so I left Vietnam in 1989. I went to China and then went to Seattle and arrived here in '93. Part of the bringing the investment opportunity that have the green card, for you, is that we want to make sure that we bring the best people, the best team, and the best project, right? So, I always look at it, it's just say, if you wanted to learn how to flip burger, and then you want to follow McDonald's, and then, if you wanted to sell Starbucks, right? Coffee, then you go with Starbucks, And so this is the best team and the most experience that you can see. And, I promise that I would like to introduce to you, throughout the time that we're working together, all this investment deal. And I'm pretty sure this is a really good team and it's a good project that gonna get you what you want, right? Which is the green card, and then the ownership on the property when you receive your petition IA-29 approval. So with that, we looking forward to working with you, and we have a great team in Shanghai office, and also in Saigon, Vietnam, and also right here in Seattle, Washington, and San Diego, California. So we're here in both US and Asia, ready to help you. Any question for us, you can call our office in Shanghai, in Saigon, or in Seattle, right? And with that, have a great one and happy investing.